Good evening, everyone. This is Saida Fatima Gilani, Senior Vice Chairperson, Read Pakistan. I'm also the Chief Executive Officer of Read Pakistan. Today in Literary Lounge, we are going to talk about a lot of things, but I wanted to focus on specific few things which are really important. And that is going to round up around libraries and reading trends in Pakistan. Basically, I'm going to start off with a basic background, things that are known to all and yet not really known to everybody. Basically, I talk about trends regarding reading. As for per the survey is concerned by Gallup and Gilani in 2019, it has been released in a report of their survey that the reading habits have decreased in the past many years. It claimed that 75% of respondents said that they do not read books at all. So this is very interesting, and at the same time, it's and not really something that would elevate our morale up. The 25% who read included those reading course books, which were only course books or either religious literatures and magazines. So basically, a book in hand has not been there in Pakistan since quite some long time. The reading culture in Pakistan has seen an ever further setback due to digitalization, of course. The schools also play a very important role in making or breaking reading habits. Students have course books, basically it all showed that at the time that they were given course books, they were just reading those course books and nothing else than that. They actually don't have time to read for pleasure, or they don't read because they're not introduced with the idea or the concept. So this is quite alarming, and I think generally we do know about this, but at the end of the day, less people are there who would actually focus on things like these, which are actually really important. They're the things that change our life. We as a nation are not readers, which is not a very positive picture. The greatest volume of books available at Karachi Urdu Bazaar is that of textbooks, which actually shows that people are reading textbooks, and the pleasure reading is just, I would rather say, it doesn't exist. Daily visitors, regular library members, and their use of library resources are decreasing as compared to the literary rate in each district. It is also concluded that due to a lack of education and training in the area of information and digital literacy, the excess database resources are not used properly, and therefore many children don't even have access to books. The access of books, even if we make sure that we provide children with books, then the basic idea which Read Pakistan also carries forward is that we should have the habit of reading, and that is basically lacking in children, and not just children, in our elders, in us, everywhere across Pakistan. This is something which is really alarming. Let me add a few things over to this, which might just interest us. Even though the number of libraries is quite much, I wouldn't say it's a good number, but the big libraries, say for instance, I would just share a few statistics with you that in Sialkot, we have Alama Iqbal Library, and that's the oldest and it's the largest library in Pakistan. It is 122 years old with a vast collection of books holding immense knowledge, of course. It has been there, I mean, the physical books are there, 30,000 physical books are present there from different genres. And of course, we all know that when we talk of Selco, the famous Paris Road is there, and the library is very much there. So we have that. Then we have Allama Iqbal Public Library in Faisalabad, where thousands of students visit, to take advantage of the vast knowledge sorted in the four walls of that library. This is among one of the original public libraries built during the British Empire, which actually states that it's a big library, very old, so it must have been completed around 1911, and it houses several books. Now, the important part is that even though it has a museum adjacent to it, the library is probably not being really fostered in the way that libraries are supposed to. So this is important. In Larkana, like for instance, we have Shah Nawaz Bhutto Public Library, and it has about 8,000 books present in the library of both English and Urdu version. People even in Islamabad, they enjoy the premises of National Library of Pakistan, and is the biggest research library, having you see 130,000 volumes and 450 seating auditoriums, which is quite a huge space. I've personally visited, and it's really amazing. You can do a lot of activities there. So it was established in 1951 and became increasingly popular in 1992. Now the largest institute providing, valuable information and of course research material is this library of ours. So we're going to talk about Karachi now. So established in 1919 in Karachi, there is a huge library hall, and it's the most notable libraries in Pakistan with an outstanding book collection of diverse genres. The government provides 300,000 every year for the purchasing of books only for this library. Even though this is not quite a big number, or rather I would say a big amount, but I think spending even a penny or even just a Pak rupee over a book, I think that actually rewards you back. So it's something that sets up the trend. So this is something which is huge. We need really to be ensured, and we should actually be knowing that whatever we are going through or whatever we're reading, it has to be of value. It has to be of significance. It should become a part of our wisdom. It should become a part of our knowledge. But even better if it becomes a part of our spirit and our soul. So basically, I really want to talk about the reading culture in Pakistan today, which is, sort of having a setback due to the digitalization and all the, things that I've shared with you, all the statistics that I've shared with you is something that is going to be of value once you compare it with what is more valuable and what needs to be done. Now, another very important aspect in Pakistan, if we want to focus upon, is going to be children's reading trends. And children's, with their innate curiosity and urge to explore, take to books like a fish to water, definitely. And this has to be with appropriate books. In terms of language, illustrations, say about, and graded text, these books are made available. Of course, they stir their imagination, and it has been proved that they are the best teaching accessories, which of course none of us can really deny. Many children don't even have the access to reading materials. And those who do not encourage enough reading, I think there's people should have this in mind, that at the end of the day, it's all about learning. It's all about developing ourselves into better people. There is very little trend of reading amongst children in Pakistan, unfortunately. Many readers develop their reading habits in really early teens due to their curiosity, rather, I would say, or genuine interest in reading. But if you don't flourish it, if you don't pamper that habit of yours, then I think it's going to be very difficult for you to become a reader in the longer run. So how are you going to make sure that is promoted, that is, that's encouraged? There are going to be a few steps that are going to promote reading, and reading extracurricular books definitely should be made part of school curriculum. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we're not doing this, but this needs to be promoted to promote early reading among children, and obviously to make them better people. So we should host book fairs and reading related activities so that we can invest in children's interest in books. And then we have the teachers who are so focused on exams and results that the wealth of knowledge that books contain is definitely denied to children, and especially to students. The biggest deprivation is that most of the librarians, if a school has one, that is, do not engage with children in book related activities. So more bookstores, book clubs, and libraries that can actually make books more accessible would actually be the answer. It would definitely boost readership. So now then we of course come to the average Pakistani's window into the greater world can be enhanced yes, and we can deprive them of a lot of things of the world that is there internationally available, and to all that they can be open to, so the international world, and that can be opened. You don't need to travel for that, you don't need to move around for that, you don't need to invest in that. All you need to invest in is to invest in a book. So this is the something that we need to encourage, inculcate, and definitely to make sure that our coming generation and our children are looking this after. And that can only be done if we are willing enough, if we are there to support the cause, if we are there to tell them the importance of reading, and definitely to make sure that our message is delivered across. Only the new generation, the next generation, is going to benefit from it if they know that what we are talking about really does make sense. So I think that would really suffice our cause. So for today, I think that's about it. And we can definitely take a lot of steps. Even the government should take a more active role in promoting reading, because a we read nation is definitely a successful nation. All right, then, take care of yourself. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.